everyone, my name is Miss Ashley LePayne and I am a middle school science teacher. I've been on a quest to answer the 3 questions of what is engineering, what do engineers and engineering students do, and what qualities should they have in the 2020s. Come on a journey with me through UConn's campus, where I participated in 2 awesome labs, had amazing experiences working on projects there, and obtained so many new fun ideas to bring back to the classroom. I was fortunate enough to participate in the Joule Fellows Program in the summer of 2021 at the University of Connecticut, all the way over in Storrs, Connecticut. There, my partner Diane Walsh and I worked in a lab learning about different kinds of wearable sensors and how to create them. Let's start with the basics. An engineer is a professional who uses science, technology, and math to solve problems. We can see engineering everywhere in the world around us, improving the ways we stay healthy, travel, communicate, work, and even entertain. Did you know that engineering is an incredibly diverse field? UConn has lots of different undergraduate engineering majors, with more being added all of the time. For example, multidisciplinary engineering is a new degree that gives students a broad background of many engineering fields. There are many more engineering disciplines out there too, and different colleges offer their own unique options. Which one on this list sounds most interesting to you? Next, let's hear from a few current UConn engineering students in various engineering programs.
Hi, my name is Emily and I'm from Thompson, Connecticut. I am a rising sophomore and I am studying mechanical engineering. My experience so far, I came to college during COVID, so I was on campus thankfully, but it was definitely different. I learned a lot about myself and studying and how to really survive independently, which is really nice, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be here. So I love performing and I love math and science, so engineering is a really great way to incorporate both of my passions into one job. And I just like tinkering with things. I never liked sitting still, so engineering is a great way to keep my mind busy and keep myself busy as well.
My name is Kaya Pringle and I'm from Lawton, Oklahoma. I'm an upcoming sophomore and I'm studying biomedical engineering and Spanish. So my first year of college was actually online because of COVID. It was really interesting to kind of go through that, but I was able to learn a lot of things through that, like how I study and a lot of things about myself, and also I picked up some new hobbies. I've always been really interested in science and math, and they've always been my favorite subjects in school. And when I got to college, I decided to look into medical school, and instead of just doing straight up medical school, I wanted to do biomedical engineering because I wanted the engineering aspect.
Ben Strong from Dix Hills, New York. I'm a junior and I'm studying material science and engineering. So far I've taken engineering courses. The biggest thing I would say about all of those is how great you get to work with people. So getting to work with other people who are in your discipline, your area of study, as well as people who you might not know but you get to meet and you're making friends and things like that. Going forward, I'm going to continue with that. So going to continue taking engineering courses, working with people, working on projects, things along those lines. And like I said, a lot of it is teamwork. A lot of it is working together in order to get your projects done, to get your assignments done. And it's really constructive, the fact that everyone can just be working together on a shared goal. In high school and middle school as well, I had really amazing teachers, and those teachers were all kind of interested in math and science and all those really cool things. And so because I had such great teachers, they told me that, or they said that, engineering is a field of science and math where you can really learn amazing things, and most importantly, in my opinion, you can help people. And so you can take what you learn and use that to help other people, and that really, really appealed to me. So kind of going back to what I said about those engineering courses, was that there were certain times where we had, a whole great project planned out, and unfortunately it was completely failed. Complete failure, terrible, broke, everything. But what was great about that is that that's part of, at least engineering, that's part of how things work, is when you fail, you get the team back together, you say what worked, what didn't work, and you continue going. So I mean, it's annoying to see everything you've done literally fall apart, but it's also really great when after repetition, after failing countless times, when you finally get some small little accomplishment, that makes everything else worth it.
I had the wonderful opportunity to interview the Dean of the School of Engineering, Professor Kazim Kazarunian, and he was able to share his incredible insight into his engineering journey, how engineering is evolving in the 2020s, and skills engineers should possess in these current times. However, I'm so sad to report that the audio of our interview didn't record. Just as Ben said, sometimes you have a whole great project planned out that ends up failing. But, quoting Ben again, you keep going and find other methods to solve your problems. So I quickly wrote down all that I remembered from my interview with the dean to share. What really stuck out to me was when speaking about the many great aspects of engineering, we talked about how it integrates many different sciences together and also offers up great opportunities to be creative. He also talked about how some components of engineering have stayed pretty similar over the past 1,000 years, but many others have changed too. For example, there's so much data out there now for engineers to work with. Also, engineers must account for the fact that the problems and challenges our society faces are ever-changing. A great takeaway I got was the message of not getting intimidated by engineering and to immerse yourself in the sciences and have fun with it. After completing their 4-year undergraduate degree, some students go on to complete their master's degree or even Ph.D. in engineering, which opens up many unique opportunities. Let's hear from a few Ph.D. graduates and what they are up to now.
So my name is Randy Mendes, and I'm originally from Southern California. Now I'm here in Connecticut at UConn. I just finished grad school getting my Ph.D. in environmental engineering. So like I said, I'm from Southern California, and I was initially looking for different vet schools. I looked all around California. I looked a little bit in Oregon and surrounding areas, and I ended up coming across Oregon State and kind of just fell in love with the school and the program. And then I completely switched gears and decided to major in ecological engineering, which is very similar to environmental engineering. So I stayed at Oregon State for my Bachelor's of Science in ecological engineering, and then I came to UConn for initially my Master's and ended up staying for my PhD. So my research is a tad bit complicated in the sense that it really is complicated. Most people would not ever want to do the research that I do. But essentially, if I had to put it into the simplest terms possible, I looked at how metals and carbon interact in the environment and how that affects different processes in wetlands such as greenhouse gas production. And so I was trying to understand under what conditions we're having more greenhouse gas production, since we know greenhouse gases are bad for the environment.
Hi everyone, my name is Lexi Hain. I am an assistant research professor here at the University of Connecticut. I did my undergrad in civil engineering at UConn, and then I did my PhD here as well in structural engineering. So I am focused on bridge design, bridge construction, and bridge inspection. And one of the other really cool things that I get to do in my job is to work with VR. So I'm here in our VR room, and we're going to show you a quick demo. I'm here with Miss LePain. She's going to show you how this works. Alrighty, so here we have our VR room. I'm going to do a quick circle. We see some of our graduate students and undergraduate students. Mike, Chris, say hi. Our large monitor. And one of our other graduate students, Brian. He's over by our VR computer. We have the headset, which is attached to the computer. It's an HTC Vive. And this is the view of the person using VR. So you can see we have a truss bridge on the screen. We can add cars driving over. And this is a great way to show people what bridges look like. We can show how fast it feels to be next to a driving car. We can show inspectors what they might have to deal with if they're closing a lane. And we can also add objects like cones that they might see in the field. So you can see here we have some cones, very realistic cones on our road, and we can even move these. We can interact with them. You see those blue borders pop up is because she's close to the edge. If you see, about to hit a chair.
That's the chair.
But we get close, she grabs the cone and throws it over. So this is just one example of how we can use VR. And now we're going to switch it over and look at a real bridge. This is one that we made with our 3D model. And now we're going to look at one that we inspected in the field.
Wow, that VR experience was so awesome and so much fun. Shout out to Lexi and her grad students for making that possible. So, you have seen some really incredible engineers. Here are some words of encouragement or advice if you are interested in maybe pursuing engineering courses or even an engineering career someday.
So I would encourage you all to keep going and persevere throughout your high school and middle school and college careers. I know engineering can be really hard, and if you don't feel like you're the best at math or science or anything else, I would encourage you to just keep going. I promise you it's worth it, and believe in yourself, you can do it.
I think the biggest thing to do if you're thinking about engineering is just talking to a bunch of different people, because there's so many kinds of engineering, and until you talk to someone about it, see a little piece of it, you might not know what it fully entails. I honestly chose civil engineering because I knew what bridges were. That's why I chose it going into college. I didn't really know what else was out there. But if you don't like a certain aspect, don't be deterred from the whole field.
I guess the biggest piece of advice that I have for middle school, and even not even just middle school, but high school and all of that, is to not get discouraged. We all feel like we're not going to be successful in different aspects. I used to suck at math, and here I am now with a PhD in engineering. So don't get discouraged. Don't let other people discourage you. Don't let standardized tests discourage you from pursuing what it is that you want.
If you're considering engineering, or if you're considering math, science, anything along those lines, there's many, many more pathways to that goal than what is laid out for you. Many pathways will never be laid out for you because you have to design them yourself. That's true for the school you're in right now, that's true for your high school, that's true for college if you decide to go for engineering or anything of that sort. So just because you might not meet someone who is a material science engineer or a mathematician or a physicist, if you don't meet someone like that, that doesn't mean they don't exist. It just means you haven't met them. So it's important to keep in mind that what you see, those are not the only options available to you. There's a lot of things available to you, and it just takes a little bit of time to meet the right people to be able to figure out what you're interested in. And there's certainly no rush to figure that out, because some of the most genius people on the planet never started out that way. They started out as just some person like you sitting in a seat, just being interested in something. And
I would tell you just to get involved in like high school and anything that you do throughout your life. Like if there's something that interests you, go for it. I don't think you should let yourself, don't stop yourself from doing something because you're scared. Like if you're interested in it, do it, and you might find engineering really fun, and I think that'd be great.
For example, engineering, you might think you have to do it exactly one way, but if you have other passions, always feel free to incorporate those passions into your program, because as soon as you're passionate and doing what you love, it's going to just be that much easier for you.